What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're here for career mode, round number 8 for the French Grand Prix. I don't really like going to this race circuit because it is quite overpowered for the AI, so we're going to have our work cut out for us today. Check out the previous episode if you haven't seen it already. The Canadian Grand Prix was actually a pretty mad episode. Despite the results, it was just one of those episodes where we just got really stuck in with the midfield, and yeah, honestly, one of the most crazy races I think I've had so far this season. I think it was right up there with Bahrain. I think was pretty crazy as well. But again, when you look at the result, 18th place, you're like, nah, nothing really happened there, did it? But it was far from just the number on a screen. Anyway, here we are for the French Grand Prix. We had 3 upgrades heading into this race: tyre wear upgrade, brake performance upgrade, and we also had a major weight reduction upgrade, which is going to make the biggest difference in performance for us, hopefully this weekend. But yeah, it's going to be quite tough to make an impact on the field in this race. I feel like my teammate will have a better chance of doing so, simply because, yeah, France is really OP for the AI, and it'll be very difficult for us to really showcase the progress that we've made heading into this race. You know, we are a team that's probably capable of getting a point or two on our day. We're even closer now, even though other teams are upgrading their stuff as well. But I feel like when we upgrade, I feel like it makes more of a difference, even though we're not making a huge amount of progress yet, which is weird. But we'll see. The car's getting better every single race, and so we'll continue to push forward with developments and going for, you know, those points finishes wherever we can. We're going to chuck in our second line of components, and hopefully that'll give us the performance we need to maybe get out of Q1. That'd be a dream result, I would say, for this qualifying session. So let's go to that now and see how slow we are.
Welcome to qualifying for this weekend's French Grand Prix. The teams are making their last-minute adjustments before the lights go green, and the fight for pole position gets underway.
So then, here we are for qualifying. Thankfully, there is no rain for qualifying. I don't believe there's any rain for the race as well, so for the first time in a little while, I feel like we're unaffected by the weather, so we can get a nice, clean weekend and just focus on the setup, focus on my driving, and not have to worry about such external factors that are going to really throw a spanner into the works. So here we are for qualifying. We come across the line for our first lap. 1 minute 28.9. I think I was, for reference, in practice running around in the 30s. So that was not great. I did struggle to pass a few practice programs like qualifying pace. It was a difficult one for me. I was playing around with the setup. I originally stuck with my France setup. I thought it was pretty bad. Then I went back to my Austria setup, which is, I feel like, the best setup I've got in my library. The Austria setup obviously didn't work around here. So I reverted back to the France setup, and I managed to smash my qualifying pace time by 7/10 in practice. But I don't know why I'm talking about practice, but I'm just kind of detailing the journey it's taken to get to this point here in the weekend. We've done a bit of soul searching, and in the end, we've just reverted back to what we started off with this weekend, which is the French Grand Prix setup. What we have done, though, is increase the front downforce, just to give us a little bit more turn in the third sector. The third sector is where we're losing the vast majority of our time, particularly the last couple of corners. Like this one right here is pretty awkward to negotiate, but I don't think we lose too much time there. It's this section right here, this long left-hander, which I just feel like we get so much understeer. You're just waiting and waiting for the car to bite in. Then the last corner, which is hard to rotate for. We lose a lot of time there, I know that. We don't get a great exit a lot of the time versus the AI, and it shows. We're last place for this French Grand Prix. So despite making 3 upgrades, one of which being a major upgrade for weight reduction, which is the most effective upgrade you can do on F1 2019, that is, you know, weight reduction, you can see there it in effect hasn't really made much of a difference. So this has me wondering whether the upgrades that we made this weekend have been like a negative upgrade. Like you see with Williams, for example, or even Haas to a degree, they apply upgrades, and sometimes the upgrade might make them go backwards. That could be the case for us this weekend. I really hope that's not the case, but hopefully in the race we can showcase our speed a little bit more. It wasn't a perfect lap in qualifying, but I'm hoping maybe the quali simulation AI time glitch was present there, because yeah, we were last in the field. We're taking some new engine components, starting from last place. So we'll have a brand new engine to get us up through the field, and hopefully that can be the difference for us. Let's go to the race.
Hello and welcome to the Circuit Paul Ricard, current home of the French Grand Prix, an event dating all the way back to 1906. It's been held at many venues over the years, with famous moments from Dijon and Manicourt the feature of many a highlights reel. And let's hope we see more of those in the race today. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. So I should probably start by asking you about Lucas Weber. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
Well, Weber has a reputation for consistency that goes back to his days in F2. But as we've seen before, being consistent and consistently winning F1 races can be two very different things. Every weekend poses its own challenges, and how he deals with those will have more impact than his performance in the last race.
We think you have a great chance of taking home 18th place today.
How depressing is that? If we have a good race, we can get P18. I'm sorry, but that just kind of feels like to me we're making up the numbers, but it's where we are in the championship at this point. Let's just be realistic. This is the French Grand Prix, the worst circuit we'll have possibly for the rest of this career mode, hopefully. So let's take this race with a bit of optimism and hope for something a little bit better than 18th place. We've changed the strategy, and thank goodness I switched to personalized and got much better tyre wear results. So we're going to get away with the two softer compounds to round out this race. 5 red lights, and away we go for the French Grand Prix. It's not going to be a great getaway. We know this because harder compound tyre. Everyone else around us is on the soft, so we'll see what we can make of this race. We'll play ourselves in later, and if we're really lucky, maybe get a fastest up of the race, and if we're in the top 10, that's a bonus point. So we'll wait and see how that plays out for us. We're heading into the middle sector now. I think that someone has spun. There's been a yellow flag. It's one of the racing points. Safety car has been deployed for the second time in 71 plus races. I feel like this is race number 72 or 73. But there we go. We get our second safety car of the career mode series. And it's a pretty ridiculous one because it was only a spin from Lance Stroll. Look at the racetrack. There is hectares of open space for a car to recover and move off of the racetrack from. But that is the thing that brings out a safety car. We've had, 5 car pileups. We've had, things that could have easily caused a red flag. In reality, no safety car in those days. At worst, like a virtual safety car. Like the Canadian Grand Prix last episode out, for example. There was so many crashes that should have and would have brought out a safety car if it was real F1. But, no, it was just green flag running, and the stewards had to run onto the track to pick up the pieces themselves without the safety of the reduced speeds. But anyway, we have a safety car, and I guess this has made up for it somewhat. But, we decided not to pit. The only person who did stop was Romain Grosjean. He had some front wing damage, so I'm guessing he was the one who collided with Lance Stroll. But he rejoins on the back of the queue on his medium compound tyres. Away we go for the race proper again as we head on to lap 4. We gained massively out of that spin. We were just taking an alternative line to the AI. I think we picked up like 5 spots there, so that was, quite incredible for our race. And now let's see if we can hold on to this undeserved track position, I would say. We've got a yellow flag up ahead. Let's see who that is. It looks like it's a Haas that's running slowly into turn 1. It's either Hulkenberg or Vettel. It looks like, it's Vettel. He is out of the Grand Prix, and that promotes us up into P13, giving us an even better chance of scoring some points today. Devin Butler is putting us under a bit of pressure as we head into turn 1. We're going to make him go the long way around. It's not really going to work out, though, as he has to back out of it and we hold on to, unlucky for some, P13. 7 laps into this race, and tyre wear is actually looking pretty good in this race, so I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to go to the end on the soft compound tyre after this, especially now with the safety car. I think that's definitely helped out our strategy. The people who are on the softs, I feel like they would have got hurt quite badly by that because they lost quite a few laps there where they could have pushed their performance and they won't be able to get that back. Or maybe they could, as we see Devon having another go into the middle sector. Not working out again for him on this occasion, but he's in the slipstream. He does have DRS, and we've got rich and high deployment going, but it's not enough to keep a Ferrari at bay, and he moves up into P11. Engineer is giving me an alternate strategy change, which is a 1 lap alteration to the pit stop window. Because of the safety car window, yeah, we can push these mediums a little bit longer if we so want to, which will definitely, yeah, make life a little bit easier at the end of the race on the softs. I don't know how the tyre wear is going to be on that, but so far on the medium, life seems to be pretty good, to be honest. The only thing I'm really struggling with is tyre temperatures. It's not getting out of hand, but it is getting to about 103 degrees, which is pretty close to like just being a little bit uncomfortable. Or it is a little bit uncomfortable anyway, especially in the third sector. The rear end is sliding around a little bit, and I do put that down to running a little bit extra front downforce, which I knocked up for quali, but I didn't trim it back down for the race, so I will do that in the upcoming pit stop for soft compound tyres, which we'll be able to get away with anyway because the car will be lighter and we'll have better tyres on at the end. The front turn-in will just be a lot better, so we can get away with that. But anyway, I'm waffling at this point. Lap 12, we're running in our own little bubble here, just tucked up behind Devon Butler. Kevin Magnussen has just made his pit stop and he's running for the lead of this race. I think he started from pole position and is yeah, in the top 3 fight with the 2 Red Bulls, who are unbelievably fast in the races. So K-Mag is really going to have his work cut out for him here if he's going to try and win this race. We're not doing his race any good here by holding him up. But Devon Butler makes his pit stop. He'll be going on to the hard compound tyres. So some AI drivers will be going on the hards. We're risking it for the chocolate biscuit and going on to the softs. So Devon will get the undercut. But we set our fastest lap of the Grand Prix, a personal best for us. So that's nice to see that we still have a good amount of tyre life left in these things. So we'll just hopefully push on. Hopefully hold on to K-Mag's slipstream and DRS for as long as we can, but that's realistically not going to last too long as we see Devon rejoining on the circuit, and he is indeed on the hard compound tyres, and it looks like everyone else around him who started on mediums is switching to hards for this incoming set. So looks like no one at the end of this Grand Prix is going to be finishing the race on softs like me, so that's quite interesting. You can see my lap times there, mid to low 32s, and we're going to compare that to Devon Butler right now on hard compound tyres. So he's done a couple of laps now, so we're going to see the overall time loss, that being on the hard compound tyre, and it is half a second, I would say. So Devon is half a second a lap faster than me on fresh hard compound tyres. So if you do the math, we're actually not losing that much time by running around on our old medium tyres. I think we're actually doing quite well to hold on to our track position. We're still in P4 and we're on lap 18 in the slowest car in quotation marks in the field. So as we come into the pit lane now, we're going to box for a set of soft compound tyres, and I tell you what, when we rejoin on the circuit, we are going to be the best part of, I don't know, a second, 2 seconds faster possibly than the likes of Devon Butler, and so he is going to have a very interesting battle to hold on to his points paying position at this stage. So I feel like the consistency at the back end of that medium compound tyres was very, very good, to the point where we really haven't lost much time to Devon Butler, despite giving him like a 5-lap undercut. So here we go. This is the gap. George Russell right in front of us. This is for a singular point. I really think we can get Devon Butler as well at a stretch. We might even be able to get Lewis Hamilton he was a good 5 seconds up the road from Devon. And around the outside we go on George Russell. This is a Mercedes who squeezes us off of the circuit at the very fast right-hander, 300 kilometers an hour through there, no less. And Jeff is warning me about one of my tires not having any pressure, which is definitely not the case. If that was true, we would have gone flying off into one of the barriers. But I think it's only a sensor issue he was alluding to, so hopefully we don't need to worry about that, and we can set after Devon Butler for P9 in this French Grand Prix. This has been an amazing turnaround. This strategy is certainly faster than that of the medium to hard, but we're making it work. I feel like the safety car period definitely helped us. It kept a lot of life in our tires, and it's made this strategy so much more viable than the safe and conservative medium to hard. So here we go. Nice exit versus Devon. We're not even going to get slipstream off of him in this second back straight. We go around the outside of him nonetheless, and we are up into P9. We have 1 second clear of our previous personal best. This will hopefully be a fastest lap attempt for us as well. This is our first flying lap on the soft compound tires. We got a nice bout of slipstream and DRS, which will hopefully really leapfrog us towards Lewis Hamilton, who is a solid 4 seconds up the road. So let's see what the damage is as we come through to the third sector. Now, even on these soft compound tires, I'm really struggling for turn in here. Like, I struggle with understeer. I get pushed out wide, and then it makes the last corner a little bit hard to turn into. I lose a lot of... I can't really rotate the car too well through there, so that's really costing me in this slower car at the moment. But we have Kimi Raikkonen out of the French Grand Prix, and that promotes us up into P8. So, wow, we have 4 points against our name at this stage, and if we can finish where we are, this will be our best finish of the season. We got P9 in Monaco, I think, with the fastest lap as well to boot. So if we can, hell, if we can just hold on for P8, that'd be amazing. But I feel like we could even get P7 if we really get our head down and get within the slipstream and DRS of Lewis Hamilton here. One thing I will have to watch out for is in the next couple of laps, just making sure we still got some good life in our tires left, because obviously the softs are going to die off quite quickly, and Lewis on his hards, he's only going to get faster and faster and faster in this race. So that's certainly an element to watch out for. 34% on the tires, so they still got a little bit of life left, but it'll probably get to a crossover where the hard becomes faster than us, and we'll need to watch out for that, because as soon as that is the case, Hamilton will be all over us in this Grand Prix. We'll have to try and break slipstream as soon as we can. Speaking of which, we are right under his rear wing. We switch to the inside as we head into the third sector. We're squeezing out Hamilton here, and that is us up into P7 in this French Grand Prix. A really nice move there. We had to make use of the inside, because it really is hard to make the outside line work for you at a high-speed corner like that, especially when you're on a hard compound tire that's supposed to be about a second, maybe even 2 seconds a lap slower. But it certainly isn't 2 seconds slower than us at this point. You can see we've really dropped off in terms of our overall best lap time. We're 1.2 seconds shy of that. So we've definitely lost that peak performance which we enjoyed a handful of laps ago. So we'll do our absolute best to hold on if we can. Sergio Perez gets demoted into P6, but he is... wow, he's a long way up the road, so we don't need to worry about trying to catch him in this Grand Prix. Here comes Lewis Hamilton once again. A bit of a lift there into the chicane. Possibly didn't want to go for it. Would have been a bit of a risky dive bomb, so he's going to wait for a bit more slipstream. And no, he didn't have a go there into the third sector, so it looks like we're going to hold on for a little bit longer now as we head on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. We run wide a bit there at the final corner. A bit of a lock-up, which isn't great, but we're having to think about how we're going to position ourselves on this last lap here with the slipstream and DRS. I've actually turned down my battery, and I'm just trying to charge it up a little bit. And if Lewis Hamilton overtakes me here, it's actually not going to be the end of the world, because we'll have slipstream and DRS for this last lap. So yeah, we're just charging up the battery. We're squabbling side by side, which is not ideal, but if I can get DRS here, then I should be able to just fly right back past Hamilton again. It looks like we will. So here we go. Slipstream, DRS. We're about to make this a very, very easy overtake, but we played a very smart there, getting a bit more charge in our battery. We got the DRS, and we will say thank you very much for that free position once again. Lucas Weber wins the French Grand Prix, so K-Mag was in control for a lot of the race, and then he just lost a lot of pace, probably when he was stuck behind me, to be fair, and he ends up, I think, in P3 in this French Grand Prix. Max Verstappen rounding out another Red Bull 1-2, which is, I gotta say, quite ridiculous. Red Bull are unstoppable, I feel like, now in this season of career mode. But Lewis Hamilton, he's not giving up. We're heading into the final couple of corners, and if he's going to make any impact on this Grand Prix, he's got to make it stick here. We're going quite deep into the last corner. We're not going to get a great exit, but we should be about to hold on to P7, which is our best result of the season by far.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
Unbelievable. Could this finally be the season where Lucas Weber goes on to win his first Drivers' Championship? He's been up there in almost every season. I think season 1 he was a midfield runner like we kind of were. But since then, he's been right at the forefront of the Formula 1 grid, and for whatever reason, every season, it just slips away from him. I feel like at this point, the only person who can take it away is his teammates. So that'll be an intriguing battle to watch, the inter-team rivalry within Red Bull. That is quite the formidable teammate to have, is Max Verstappen on the other side of the garage. But for us, amazing result. P7, we started P20, we took the new engine, and I gotta say, I feel like that made a big difference from our qualifying to race performance. Probably gave us a couple of tenths per lap, and then the strategy change as well was brilliant. Starting on the mediums, finishing on the softs. The strategy itself was, I think, 10 seconds faster than the medium to hard stint. So yeah, we certainly made up a lot of time there, and also the safety car, which happened on the first lap, it allowed us to look after our tyres a lot better, meant that the mediums were able to run longer in the race. We actually extended our medium stint by 1 lap, and it took the load off of the soft compound tyre, which it definitely didn't drop off towards the end. So I feel like the safety car period really enabled us to get the maximum out of the strategy today. And in the end, it's P7, our best result of the season. We move up into 7th in the Constructors, I think 13th in the Drivers' standings. Overall, life is looking pretty good. And yeah, with more upgrades, I can't wait to see what package we'll have.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today?
No. Thanks to the crash on lap 1 for that.
We all underestimated you, didn't we?
Yes, you did, and I feel like I underestimated myself. Didn't see that coming.
Devon did much better in today's race than he did in qualifying. Were you expecting that?
I don't know. Why are you asking me that? I beat Devon in the race, so ask me about that.
You must wish you'd have been up there on the podium alongside your old teammate today.
It is tough to see Lucas getting all those podiums, but we'll be there soon.
Appreciate your time.
We will be there sooner or later. Could you imagine if we get a podium this season? I hope so, but at the rate of development which the other teams are upgrading, it looks unlikely. Because whatever upgrade we seem to make, it seems like the other AI drivers or teams, seem to shadow us a little bit as well. So it'll be a little bit difficult to make those huge inroads that I was, hoping to make heading into this season of career mode. But we are slowly starting to get the results. We're slowly starting to get that snowball of momentum now. We've got another contract renewal. We've already got the best terms, so there's nothing really to push for here. Let's move along.
Really? You don't want to negotiate at all? Well, it's your call, but personally I would have tried to push for better terms. There really is no harm in trying,
There really is no better terms than first driver. 18. Well, I could have pushed for a higher expected race and qualifying position, but that just puts more pressure on myself. I've already got the maximum amount of resource points, and upgrade factory status, whatever. I've already got those perks, so there's nothing really I can get more than that, unless you want to beef up my salary a little bit more, or just give me a brand new car. Give me a Red Bull. Yeah, put that on my contract. Give me the Red Bull chassis from Lucas Weber or something. That's the only way that my contract can get any better than what it is at the moment. Upgrade wise, again, we're going to target weight reduction. We've now done the department efficiency upgrades that we so wanted, which has made all these chassis upgrades a little bit cheaper. So now we can get the flurry of upgrades going on the chassis side. So that'll be quite cool to get on the car. After that, we can target the ultimate weight reduction upgrade. That'll be a little while away while we save up for some resource points. For the aero department, we are going to go for rear downforce, which will go on the car in time for the British Grand Prix. That'll just hopefully help with tyre wear and consistency, especially in the races. Having a more stable and planted rear end really allows you to throw the car around a whole lot more on F1 2019. I really did underestimate the importance of having, you know, a higher amount of downforce on the rear, because you can really lean on the car that much more. It was something I really didn't respect all too much in the setup, you know, a couple of months ago. But now I really do get it. Gives you so much more ability to push. But anyway, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the best results of the season. It wasn't the craziest race, but hell, we had a safety car. We had a moment where we gained, 5 positions, while everyone else was stationary. I don't know if that was legal or not, but the race directors seemed to miss that one, so we really got off quite lightly there, and we come away with 6 points on the tally. Heading into the next race in... bloody hell, I don't even know where we're off to next. I think it's Austria. Austria is going to be a good race for us because I feel very much in the groove there. I've got an amazing setup from the esports video that I did a couple of days ago. So, confidence is high. Hopefully, more points are beckoning for us, and we can really ramp up the developments and really get in the mix with these guys. So, until then, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys for a brand new video very soon.